And then Tiza came out from his hiding place and said to his brothers, "Go home and take the 7 princesses with you. I will remain with the cobra." He dared not look at Rajmala as he spoke. The gentleness and beauty had made him love her already, and he could not bear to think that he might never see her again, but at least he could save her life and give himself to the cobra in her place. Students, we have completed up to this. The next paragraph we will see the princess and princesses were very sorrowful. They begged the cobra to forgive them this time and to let them all go in peace and safety. But the snake refused. All of them just requested to the cobra that this time he should leave them, but he was not ready. He totally refused. At last, the 7 princesses and 6 princes went on their way, leaving Tiza alone with the cobra by the pool. Finally, all decided to leave Tiza there with the cobra. After all of them had gone, the cobra said to Tiza, "I am ill. There is a great sore in my head. If you can cure the sore, I will let you return home without hurting you," he requested. Or he said to Tiza that, "I am not in good condition. He had a great sore in his head, which is not curable. But whenever Prince Tiza cured the sore of the snake, after that he could allow him to go his palace without hurting him." And so Tiza tried his best to cure the sore in the cobra's head. He brought various types of medicines. He did everything, but it was not cured. It was not cured. Twice a day means in a day at twice he washed it and put medicine in the sore, but he could not cure it. Finally, the cobra said to him, "There is a princess who lives in a city in the forest. There is a forest, and in that forest a city is there. In that city one princess is living here. There she is called as Grass Princess. She has great magic powers, and she has a medicine which would cure the sore of the cobra." He requested Prince Tiza to go to her and ask her to give that medicine to him, by which he could easily cure the sore of the cobra. The prince set off his journey in search of the forest city and the Grass Princess. He walked for many miles, and towards evening he came to a river. In the water he saw a lot of rats. Rats were just trying to swim across the far side, but the river's water was so strong and deep, that's why they could not go from one side to another side. That all situation saw by the Tiza saw everything, and he would he saw that they would all drown before they reached to the other bank of the river. That's why he went for their help. The prince was kind-hearted young man, and he felt sorry for the rats, so he swam into the river and saved them, carrying all of them all across to the other side. When he had put them down, the rats thanked to him and all said to him that whenever you will feel a need of help, at that time you can call us. We will promise you that we will be there at once. Prince Teza smiled and continued on his way, and at the next night he came to the forest city of the Glass Princess. Finally he reached there. It was late, so he spent the night in the house of an old woman who lived on the edge of the town. He went in a house where was an old woman was living. He went there and he had eaten his supper. He asked the old woman about the Glass Princess. He asked about the old Glass Princess to the old woman. She told everything, but She said, how can I speak to her? He asked to that old woman. So old woman warned her that, my son, no one can speak to her. The old woman answered to Prince Tiza like that. Glass Princess' father, who was the king, is so jealous of her beauty, and that's why, and he says no man may marry or even see to the Glass Princess until he done two quite impossible things. That was the suggestion of the old woman. Uh, that was said by the old woman to Prince Tiza, that the father, who was the king of Glass Princess, he was really very jealous about the beauty of Glass Princess. That's why that was his wish, that not a single man could visit or see her without completing the two impossible things. First, that man should must take a bath in a tank of boiling water without adding a single drop of cold water, and if he is not died, then the man must cut down a great tree made of iron. If the man cannot do these things, he is seized by the king's soldiers or killed. After that, Prince Tiza replied, but I am married already, thinking sadly about his lovely Rajmala. I don't want to marry the Glass Princess. I only want to speak to her. What he said, I only want to speak to her. I am not interested to marry to Glass Princess. Then old woman said, there is also no difference. You also want to complete that two things, and king will never allow it to you to speak with the Glass Princess. And afterwards, Tiza asked why she is called as Glass Princess. So old woman replied, because she lives and sleeps in a room made entirely of glass. There are no doors or windows, and only the princess can enter because she has the magic powers. Prince looked so unhappy that the old woman said so sadly, what is the matter, my son? Can I help you? What she said. After hearing that all the things, Prince Tiza became unhappy because he thought now he could not see his loving wife Rajmala. So he became sad and he tried to sleep. But by looking towards his face, old woman understood something, and she asked, my dear son, what happened? What is the matter? If you have any issue, you can ask me. I will help you. So Prince Tiza told everything, the whole story of her, how he is living with a cobra, what was his condition, what is the problem that cobra is facing, and how he can cure his sore, everything. So, and afterwards he said that I can't go home to my wife until the cobra sore is cured. He finished, and the cobra's sore only be cured by some medicines from the Glass Princess. Only whenever the Glass Princess will give that magical medicine, after that only the sore of cobra will be cured. And after that, the old woman started to think deeply. At last she remembered that, the Glass Princess has magic powers. So Prince Tiza said, yes, I know that, you told me that. Okay. So old woman said that, once I heard that in order to win her magic from her, you have to share her food for 3 days. Near about 3 days you have to share her food. You have to share her food. After that, the princess will do anything you ask. Whatever you will ask to the Glass Princess, she will definitely listen to you. She cannot refuse you because you already shared her food. But now, my son, it is late and you are tired. After that, she requested him to do sleep, and in the morning you can start your journey. What she said, go to bed, and perhaps in the morning we shall manage to find an answer to your problem. Definitely in the morning we will find our answer. So Tiza went to bed, but he could not sleep. But all the questions are just running in his mind, so that's why he could not sleep. And all night long he tried to think of some way in which he could visit the Glass Princess. He was trying to find out that way by which he could easily visit to Glass Princess. He could say his problem to Glass Princess, and afterwards what? He could go towards his house, towards his lovingly wife and his family. And after that, just John came in early morning. He sat up suddenly and said, means something came in his mind, and suddenly he sat up in the early morning and said, "Oh rats, you once promised to come to me if I needed you. Will you help me now?" Then he remembered about the rats, those who helped by him on the river banks. So he called them. At once there was a noise of hurrying feet, and hundreds of rats came into the room. Then after some seconds, he realized that the rats are moving from one place to another, and then he realized that some rats are there. "Here we are, Prince Tiza. How can we help you?" they said. They called to Prince Tiza, and they told that we are here. Now tell us, how can we help you? "I want you to dig a long deep tunnel under the ground," he requested to all the rats that they should have to dig a deep tunnel. "It must lead straight to the Glass Princess bedroom. That tunnel should go towards the bedroom of Glass Princess. But you must make it come out under her bed so that she will not be able to see it." Means what? That tunnel should go towards the bedroom of Glass Princess up to his bed. The rats started to dig a tunnel at once. All day they dug deep into the earth, and by the sunset they had reached the Glass Princess bed. In a one day they just completed that construction of the tunnel. At midnight, Tiza entered the dark tunnel and crawled along it to the princess' bedroom. And afterwards, Prince Tiza just started his journey from that tunnel, and he reached in the bedroom of Glass Princess. When he came out from under the bed, he saw she was sleeping. Whenever he reached there, he saw that she is sleeping. She was sleeping. On a table by her side there was a bowl of water and some soap, a plate of rice, and a jug of milk. Everything was kept there. Tiza quietly washed her hands and ate half of the. Once he used that soap and water, he washed his hands. He ate the half rice from her plate, and drank half the jug of milk also. Then he left again by the tunnel, pushing some earth to hide the hole under the bed. When the Glass Princess woke in the morning, she was greatly surprised to see. Whenever Glass Princess woke up in the morning, she greatly surprised to see soapy water and half-eaten food. So she realized that someone who is clever as she was entered in this room during the night. She said, "He must have magic powers too. But tonight I will definitely catch the thief." That night, however, the princess was tired and she fell asleep long before midnight. Before the reaching of Prince Tiza, she went to bed. Tiza again entered the room and through the tunnel. When he saw the princess was asleep, he again washed his hands, ate half of the dish of rice, and drank half the jug of milk. Then he left by the again tunnel, filling the hole with the earth as he had done before. On the third night, the princess was determined to keep awake. Definitely, she became ready to awake at the night. For that purpose, what she did, she cut her finger with a knife and rubbed salt into the cut. So by that pain, she would keep her awake. When Tiza entered at midnight, she was not asleep. She was awakened. But she was interested to see who this daring young man was. She wanted to see that who is that young man and what he was doing. So she pretended to be sleeping. She did acting and said nothing until he had washed his hands, eaten half the plate of rice. Then she spoke. "Who are you and how dare you enter my room at midnight?" she asked. What she said, Ki, who are you and for what purpose you entered in? You entered in my room. Tiza told her everything about the story of the cobra and explained that he wanted some magic medicine from Glass Princess to cure the cobra's sore. She could never not refuse him because already he shared her food for 3 nights. She smiled at him and gave him a little bottle of magic oil. What she said, your wife is lucky to have such a wise, brave, and brave young man for a husband. And the Glass Princess said, and Tiza became thankful, and she also hoped that someday she will also get a man like Prince Tiza. Prince Tiza thanked her and said goodbye. He returned to the old woman's house and told her joyfully. He again returned to that old woman just because of her. He got that magical oil. And he went her and told everything her joyfully, and he had got what he wanted. In what search he went, he got that. He gave a present of money in return for her all kindness. He gave a present of money to that old woman for her kindness, and he hurried back to the pool. The moon was shining brightly and the cobra was awake because her sore was paining. So Tiza quickly put the oil on Snake's head at once and sore was definitely cured. The cobra was quite satisfied and happy. So he said to Tiza, now you can go home now, but first tell me how you discovered a way to Glass Princess' bedroom. Then he eagerly asked the story of Glass Princess, how he got that magical oil. Tiza told him and Cobra laughed, enjoying that story. And what he said, you deserve your good luck. And afterwards he said to Prince Tiza that you are a very wise and courageous young man. Now go to your princess Rajmala and I wish you every happiness. Every happiness he just wished to Prince Tiza. There was a great rejoicing at the palace when Tiza returned. Everyone was happy, especially all his brothers and that princesses, including Rajmala. And the cobra's wish came true. Prince Tiza and Princess Rajmala spent a long and happy life together by the wish of the cobra. Students, these 5 questions answers I sent on your classroom. Kindly write that in your notebook, which will be useful for your first term examination.